Good morning. This is Karen Spar, Executive Vice President of the Southport Oak Island Area Chamber of Commerce. And today on Faces of Commerce, we are delighted to introduce Dr. Manrique-Kiniry. And she is with the Dosher Women's Health Clinic. Is it a clinic or a practice? I never know the difference. Dr. Kiniry, how are you?
Well, it's considered. I'm fine, thank you. It is considered one of the clinics of Dosher, but it's more run like a practice, I would say.
Okay, wonderful. Welcome to our area.
Thank you. It's a beautiful area.
Where did you come from?
So I came from outside of Charlotte, a small town called Waxhaw.
Not
So
wax on, wax off.
yeah,
Just kidding.
exactly.
I couldn't help it. Sorry, folks from Waxhaw. But we are very delighted to have you. You've come in. Dr. Brad Heileman has retired, and you have come in and taken over that practice or started a new practice, however you want to say it. But it's so nice to have a lady gynecologist in our area, and you also do surgeries, do you not?
Yes, I do. So I'm kind of taking over and hopefully building on the practice that Dr. Heileman had started, which has been a long and it's been a very good practice, I believe. And I think they wanted to make sure that they continue to have that practice grow after he retired. So he wanted to continue offering women the same kind of health care and just providing that type of care for the population here.
That's great. Tell me, like if you've had a hysterectomy, do you need to go and have your annual physical?
Well, yes, you do. The annual and physical, from a GYN standpoint, there's many things that we do that just the general practitioner does not always do. I know that they will listen to your heart, lungs, order your labs, get you your routine screenings, but many don't physically do the breast exam. Some do, but some don't. It's not a definite part of the exam. So that's important. A breast exam is important along with the mammogram. So, because the accuracy of the test is only as good as the test and the exam put together. Detection rate increases when you do both. The same thing with the pelvic exam. If you've had a hysterectomy, some women still have ovaries. So, just because you can't develop a cervical cancer doesn't mean you can't develop ovarian cancer. Or just because you can't develop uterine cancer doesn't mean you can't develop vaginal cancer. So there are still parts of your body that are still being used or still present that can develop cancer. So it is very important. I think what women don't take into account is that we all worry about skin cancer, especially in this beautiful area where we're exposed to the sun. But the vulva, or that private area of the woman, is can also develop skin cancer. You can have melanomas there, even if it's not exposed to the sun, which most likely it isn't. And but a lot of skin changes. And as women, that's not a part of our body that we technically look at or inspect on a regular basis. And obviously, seeing an OBGYN, that is my prime area of work, I guess. And so I get to see it in a whole different perspective, from a different perspective. So it is important.
How did you choose your profession? Because it's every doctor has their own specialty, and you kind of wonder how they came to that specialty. And
Yes.
so, how did you choose this?
Well, that's a funny story. I honestly think that I know this sounds crazy. I really think God was leading me to this all my life. I had never wanted to be an OBGYN. In fact, when I went into medical school, I thought I was going to be a pediatrician. And when asked by an OBGYN, have you considered OBGYN? I said, oh no, not that or not psychiatry. And honestly, I do both every day. And the funny thing is, when I volunteered in high school and in college, they always put me in the OB section because they needed a translator. So everyone, there was about 30 kids, everyone got their number one choice of where they wanted to be. And I picked peds, and they would say, that'd be great, but we really need you here to help us translate. And it was, I would very nicely say, but I would prefer this, and they would say, but we need you here, and that's where I would end up, no matter what. And then in medical school and in college, I mean, in medical school, I just really enjoyed um, learning about everything our bodies go through. It was just, I was in awe of everything it can do. Um, you know, reproduction, and just, just how much our bodies grow and change with us. And then all the things that also can grow and change with us was very shocking to me, because it wasn't something that women necessarily shared or talked about. And I think that our older generation, everything was very secretive. And so literally when I went into medical school and saw, how our bodies can change with time, with prolapse, with problems with our bladders, problems with our rectums, I just couldn't believe it. But it made sense with everything that our bodies go through with childbearing, or just the depending on what you do for a living, if you constantly are a laborer, lifting things repetitively, our bodies take a toll. And so it was just amazing what our bodies can do. And I wanted to educate women on that so that they wouldn't feel alone when something does happen.
That's a wonderful story. It goes to prove that sometimes your profession finds you.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know you treat all ages of women, everywhere from adolescents to us old babes. So let me. Where should people that are looking for a new gynecologist, where should they contact you?
Well, they can call the office at 910-457-9292. And that would lead you to our office.
It sounds great. And where is your office located?
So our office is located on 823 North Atlantic Ave, right here in Southport.
That sounds great.
And Karen, that's right behind the hospital. Like there's some office buildings right behind the hospital, and that's where Dr. Manrique is.
I'd always say it's right behind Locals.
Yeah.
Everybody knows where Locals restaurant is. So. Dr. Manrique, it's been a pleasure talking to you today. And
Thank you.
There are so many issues that women have that men don't have, and it's nice to have you in our area and able to talk to us about these things.
Well, it's nice to be here, and I'm always here to my thing is, I'm here to educate, and you're never too old to start learning,
That's true. And new things pop up all the time.
Exactly.
Those hot flashes don't go away. Or
Not for everyone, so.
All right. So if you are in the market per se for a new gynecologist, OB/GYN, is that correct?
Now only GYN only now.
GYN.
He was
Okay.
the obstetrics part.
So no babies.
No more babies, because we don't deliver babies here at Dosher, but
Okay.
yeah, everything else.
So if you need a new GYN, please look up Dr. Manrique-Kiniry at Dosher's Women's Health. And your phone number again is?
910-457-9292.
And you can also find her on the Dosher website at?
Dosher.org/clinics.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you many years of success here in the Southport Oak Island area. It's been a pleasure meeting you, and we look forward to seeing more of you.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.